things just keep getting better for the Pelicans and Yves Missi as the second-year big man continues to turn heads with his energy, rim protection, and rapid development. And he continues to showcase his skills in Afrobasket, and his latest showing will impress Pelicans fans. We'll talk about it inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, everybody? It's your people, Melz On The MIC, back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Thank you so much for checking in with your boy, and thank you so much for subscribing, man. And if you haven't done it yet, what you waiting for, baby? We give you the best daily news, updates, and more, analysis, all that good stuff about the New Orleans Pelicans as we get ready for the Pelicans season as it kicks off in a couple of, about a little over a month from now. But of course, on this program, we have been big on Yves Missi. I've been real big on Yves Missi. I told you this in the previous video that this is going to be the center of the future for the New Orleans Pelicans, and they continue to build and develop him because you got to remember this guy just recently picked up a basketball. Like hasn't even been playing basketball for longer than I think 4 or 5 years realistically. So he's still raw, and even though he didn't have a good showing in Summer League, that hasn't stopped him from becoming one of the players that a lot of teams are starting to look to as big men become a priority in the NBA. We discussed this before. You may not think he's all that right now, or you may not have been impressed with him in Summer League. But then again, that's why the Lakers was calling about him. The Lakers were calling and inquiring about him. Although the Pelicans ever answered the phone, but big men are becoming a premium. And if you have somebody in the building right now, if you're the Pelicans, that you can develop into something that you can build into the future with as far as in the center position, you don't have to go out here and gamble your current roster or anything else to go find them. You just develop what you got. And you got to be excited about the development of Yves Missi, especially with what's going on right now with him in the FIBA Afro basketball tournament that's going on right now. He's currently playing for Cameroon, and he recently had an impressive performance for Cameroon that will excite NBA fans, according to NBA Analysis on their website. Great story about what happened in his most recent game a couple of nights ago. Let's talk about it. In this article, Missi dropped 20 points along with 12 rebounds and 1 assist to help Cameroon defeat the Congo 77-68. 20 points along with 12 rebounds, another double-double action night for Yves Missi. And he played 33 minutes, and this has got to be exciting for you if you're a Pels fan. This has got to be exciting because he's getting more reps in. In Summer League, he looked rusty. He looked rusty, even though he had been in the gym all summer. When he actually got down the floor with some actual talent, you could see, he was rusty and things were getting by him pretty quick and guys were able to maneuver by him, but he still had double-double numbers most of the nights that he was in Summer League. Right now, with going on with him in Afrobasket in Cameroon, he's leading these guys deep into the tournament. They're going into the quarterfinals in a couple of days. So if he continues to impress like this, you have got to feel good about his future with the Pelicans. You have got to feel good about it, especially, and the writer of the article, NBA Analysis, points this out. It was a great performance from Missi, who has been a true leader for the Cameroonian national team, leading them in points, averaging 16.7 points a game, rebounds 8.7 a game, and blocks at 1.7 a game, almost 2 blocks a game. If the young center does a good job and leads Cameroon to success of this tournament, he will earn himself more minutes next season. Look, I'm super excited to hear that. I'm super excited to hear that as a Pels fan, because again, you bring in a Kevon Looney to sort of shore up and give you some veteran presence in that position for right now. And the one thing I keep getting, a little cranky about when we talk about Yves Missi is, everybody in these articles keep putting Derek Queen into the center position. And I keep saying, if you're the Pels, you're not going to put Derek Queen in the center position. You can't do that right now. He's not ready to be in the center position. You put him at power forward, and I say you move Zion to small or either or. He has to play forward. I don't think he's built and big enough to play center. So if you're talking about center position right now, you're talking about Looney and Missi being the two key components. Now, if Missi can continue to go on this tear, especially in the preseason, maybe he starts. But I wouldn't start him. I was of the original idea that you start Missi on opening night. And I've changed my position on that because he still has a little bit more development to do. Because, again, while those numbers are impressive in Afrobasket, those numbers are very impressive, it's still not, NBA. That's still not a whole lot of NBA talent he's going up against. So, at the same time, while you can be impressed with those numbers, which I am, and which makes me very happy, you still have to account with the fact that he's still playing against some competition that's still trying to get into the NBA level of things, if that makes sense. But also, something that I think that came to my, I guess, an epiphany of mine while I was looking over this article and thinking about sort of how the Pelicans are building this roster. Because, again, a lot of people think we're not going to do well this year or next year. They're freaking out because we surrendered that draft pick for Queen. But again, I am of the argument that you have built this team up to win, if not this season and next season. I'll put it like this. As the roster is currently constructed right now with Jordan Poole and everybody else that you just brought in, Kevon Looney, everybody, most of these guys are only on 2-year deals. Okay, they're not signed for the long term. So you got a team that's getting that you're preparing to run now to try to win this year and next year and play out Zion's contract. But at the same time, you're developing a core that can step up whenever those contracts are done. And what I mean by that is you went and got and pay close attention to what I'm about to tell y'all. Okay, these next 2 seasons, are all going to be about trying to win now. But at the same time, with the draft picks you made and Fears and Peavy and Queen this season, plus some of the pieces that you already have, you are building up a team that can contend if you continue to develop not down the line after those 2 years are up. That could be in contention in 2 years are up. And the key point, and I'm going to point this out, so don't get mad, it ain't going to be Zion Williamson. It's not going to be Zion Williamson they're going to be building around. It's going to be this guy, Trey Murphy III. That's the guy, that's the guy you're going to be building around. If you notice, if you go pay attention to Pelicans social media right now and stuff like that, this team is pumping up and putting Trey Murphy out there in the front. Not Zion, Trey. They're putting Trey and Murphy up to be the star of the future for this franchise, the piece that you can build around. Not Zion. Not Zion. And in the future, you can look at a possible 2 years from now, you can look at a lineup that includes Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Yves Missi, and Derek Queen. I'll do you even one better. You could go Fears, Peavy, Murphy, Queen, and Missi, depending on how Peavy continues to develop. Because again, Peavy, have you seen his game? He's more of a defensive player. He's a passer, not necessarily a shooter, but you develop that like how you're developing Herb Jones. And I'm not saying that you replace Peavy and Jones. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying down the line. Down the line. If Herb Jones becomes a star and wants to command, let's say Herb Jones becomes an all-star and that price range gets crazy. Let's say that. Let's say Herb Jones can command a supermax at some point. And then you're the Pels, and you're looking at that down the line future. This is why you locked him in now on a good contract, because down the line future, if Herb continues to develop and especially if he becomes an offensive weapon, you already know about his defense. If Herb becomes an offensive weapon, Herb go get supermax money. Let's be real here. So you got to start if you're the Pelicans, you got to continue to try to develop these guys that you picked up. These 3 guys, Spears, Peavy, and Queen, along with Missi. That's a good core right there to go into the future with. So if you're thinking down the line, if you're the Pels, you can't. And I love that they're not thinking like this. They're not thinking, okay, let's just blow this whole thing up right now, which is what everybody wants us to do. Blow up the whole thing right now and start from fresh and start from scratch. No, you have enough pieces already that you can try to win this thing. Again, most of these pieces are from a team that won 49 games 2 years ago, a year or two ago. So most of these pieces are still there. So you keep going with that and you build around a sort of second unit that's going to step up in the future. You continue to develop them. Again, this is something we talked about when you bringing in somebody who's the head of, we talked about this in a few videos ago about the new coach that they brought in that's going to be the head of player development. You bring him in and continue to develop what you got right now. I'm telling you, the future is good. Like I say, I say this before, we are set up to try to contend now and next year. After that, you at least have gotten a core around you to develop in these 2 years. Hopefully, we are off the nonsense of picking up a guy and then panic trading them after a year or two. I hope we're off of that. And I think we are off of that finally as Pels fans, as an organization. I think we're off the whole, all right, we're going to make him a Dyson Daniels in the first round, give him a year or two, and then we're going to ship him out of here and panic. Because that's what could possibly happen with Jordan Hawkins this season, in my opinion. If Jordan Hawkins can't get on the floor and do what he needs to do, that could be the problem too. But if Hawkins could come through, then you still got another piece to add to this core, a new core that you're developing, internal talent, and a culture of developing your own internal talent. Well, first, we're going to see how we get through this season and next season with the guys that we have. But right now, you have got to be excited about what Yves Missi is doing out there in Afrobasket, and also be excited about the future. I feel good about the future about this team. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on Yves Missi? Do you think Yves Missi should be starting on opening night, or do you think he still needs a little bit more time to develop? Or what do you want to see with Missi that will convince you otherwise? I love it. I love that he's dominating Afrobasket. I'm going to probably go check out some games now. If I can check him out somewhere online, I think I'm going to definitely check out and go watch some Yves Missi stuff and go check out some highlights. But you should be excited and you should feel good because Yves Missi is out here putting in good minutes and getting up some good stats and good numbers as we get ready to head into the season and shaking the rust off of him. Do you think he has the potential to be an all-star, most improved player, something that's going to happen this season? Let's talk about it, man. Thank you so much for checking in with me, man. Go ahead and clap back in the comments with your thoughts on Yves Missi, and also clap back with your thoughts on what's going on with the Pelicans right now. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button so you can come join in and get some of the best analysis and more about the NBA New Orleans Pelicans right here on Pelicans Digest. It's Melz talking about the Pels. I'll holla at y'all.